Welcome back to the Jason Rantz Show. Though I am a skeptic, I've always been fascinated by psychic mediums. The idea that one could talk to spirits or have vivid premonitions is absolutely fascinating to me. So when I found out my next guest was in town, we had to invite her on. Rose O Driscoll is a psychic medium from a small village in Ireland, and she says she's always been able to communicate and sense the spirits from the other side. Rose joins us in studio. I appreciate you coming down to Seattle, a little bit of a ways away from where you're from.
Yes, it was a bit far away, but you know what? I got here, so everything is good.
What does it mean to be a psychic medium?
To me personally, I could say different ideas or different ways of people that think about it, but for me personally, I think it's believing that there is an afterlife. And I'm not here to prove anything to anybody. I just share my gift with as many people as I can. And I share more of a positive outlook on life. Plus, I'm very intuitive. So that would mean that I can tell people things, and I'm a clairvoyant, that I can sense spirit, and it's all energy.
Okay.
So I work with energy, with spirit, with they show me symbols to relate to a person's life at present and what may be coming up in their life that they need guidance on, or anything like that. So I suppose I'd have two different answers to that question, because for me to be explaining what it is to be a psychic medium is, as I said, to what I just said. But then there's the other idea of psychic mediums out there that, you know, there's a lot of negative overview and there's an awful lot of positive overview. So when I heard you were a skeptic, I said, you know what, bring it on.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I am someone who, is it possible to be a psychic? Sure, I guess I believe in the possibility, but I come from the side of, I'm very analytical. I like to look at facts. I like to say, okay, here's something I can definitively prove. But at the same time, I'm a very religious person. I believe in God. I can't necessarily prove the existence of God other than to say in my heart, in my soul, I know he exists. And so that's sort of where I come from. And I guess when you talk about your gift, and you view it as a gift, you don't view it as a burden.
I view it more of an ability.
Okay.
Also on the same line as a gift. I mean, I'm not any better than any one of us here. We're all on the same level. So I wouldn't say that I'm more gifted than anybody else. I have the ability to connect with those that have passed over. And that's why I try to share my gift and to share the ability to others as well, to say, you know what, tune in more to what signs you're getting for your life as well as guidance.
So you communicate with spirits, but you don't necessarily, you can't tell the future. So for example, I can't go up to you and say, what does my life foretell in the next week career-wise? You're not necessarily able to do that?
Well, I wouldn't say that I can't tell the future. That's the intuition. And I get the messages from, we'll say, your spirit guides that would say to me, hey, do you know what? Here's the best thing he can do for his career. Like, I'm not as what you'd call a fortune teller. I hate them words. And what it is just I'm using my intuition, connecting with your spirit guides. And it's actually them guys that are saying, you know what, here's the guidance for you. But at the same time, what I would say is, I mean, anything can change in the blink of a second. So, I mean, I can give you guidance. And it's like if I say to you, well, you're going on a trip tomorrow. If you're not going to get up off your ass and get on that plane or go and move, you're not going to go on the trip.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I try to use things like that to say what I mean by using my intuition to guide the person.
Well, how do the spirit guides know what they're talking about? So how do they? So what informs their guidance that they would give to you to give to me?
Well, I suppose it's not like they can kind of see and sense, like they see everything that you do. Okay, so they can guide you in the sense of, well, you know, you made a bad decision maybe yesterday or the day before, but here's the best way to come out of it. And they know, because the way that I believe it is that, like, our guys that have passed over, they've been through a lot more than what we have been. You know, and it's like a circle of learning life's lessons and keep going until we learn. So the guys that I connect with, they've the ones that have the most experience. That's the best way I can describe it.
Now, is this a ability that you can turn on and off? Can you just say right now, okay, I'm shutting myself off to the different spirit guides out there. I'm not looking at your aura anymore. I'm just sort of on this level. I'm ignoring everything else. Or is it always there?
One question, like, it's not always there, but at the same time, I don't necessarily have to tune in to get it. So, I mean, if I'm shopping or if I'm in a bar or if I'm, we'll say, just walking down the street, if somebody genuinely needs a message, and if I have that spirit guide, or it could be somebody's grandfather or grandmother or father or mother, they'd actually come hounding me and it's like, hey, this person needs this message. And I will not be able to turn that message off. So I'll have to either be go up to the person or just kind of say, right, sorry, tip the shoulder. I'm an Irish medium, or, I have a message for you here. And, you just give the message, and it's up to them to take it whatever way they take it.
I imagine sometimes they give you weird looks. Like, what is this crazy woman doing?
There's the nutter from Ireland. No, it's okay because, in this line of work, I agreed that when I was going to become public and go more professional in it, there was that proposition. I said to myself, right, you're going to have to handle the negative and the positive.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, 99% of my experiences on my travels, it's been awesome. I've met people that have genuinely, really are grateful of my gift. And then it has the downside of some people that might, as yourself, you're the skeptic. But, as I said, I'm not here to prove anybody. I'm doing my thing. Everybody else can either like it, lump it. But
don't you feel don't you feel the need to prove it? So I told people on our Facebook page that I was talking to you, and I asked for questions, and we got one from Mitchell, and it's probably one you get all the time, which is, what kind of evidence can you provide to support your claim of being a psychic medium? And so part of you clearly devote your life to this. You are on tour right now. You are trying to talk to as many people as humanly possible to tell about your gift. Don't you want to prove it?
What do you mean by proving it, though? When I give messages to people, like if you're asking me, I can do readings, and that to me is I'm proving it every day. But at the same time, I'm not here as a preacher. I'm not here to say I'm right and you're wrong, because that's bull. At the end of the day, as I said, I have an ability to connect with those. And when I portray the messages, the feedback I get is that I'm accurate and I'm following my specific guide in my life. And that to me is proving it. So, that can be a broad enough question, but that's the best way I can answer it.
I'm joined in studio by Rose O Driscoll. She is a psychic medium. She is in Seattle in Western Washington this week. You are telling people your message, and I suppose right now, do you see my spirit guide? Are you connecting on any sort of level?
What I will say is that there's a very strong male over you, but he's showing me like a one-story house. So it would be on Dad's side, but there's also a military connection, but it's not him. So it's not your, I would be inclined to say that it's your grandfather coming through, but he was not in the military, but he's acknowledging person that's in his military, but it's like it's his brother, somebody on the same level as him. What he is also saying as well is that he's adamant to bring up the house move, okay? And what he's showing me is like a one-story house, and there's red bricks on the outside as well, and there's trees on the right. But what he's saying is that the house move was most beneficial, but for you, it was actually about, he's acknowledging 2, so it was 2 years ago.
Okay.
That was most beneficial for you. So don't be questioning the move, but that one-story house would be connected to him.
Okay. Now, if I were to say nonsense, I have no idea what you're talking about. I can't quite picture what you are referring to. Is there room for interpretation as to what that means?
When you say,
like, how literal is the spirit guide and their images that they're presenting to you? Do you take it completely at face value, or do you interpret it yourself and then try and make sense of it all?
Well, my job as being the messenger, the medium, to bring that message, it's my interpretation, as I said, of the symbols, and then they show me like their levels of energy, which is exactly when I said it's not your grandfather that's in the army, but it was the person beside him. So the same level, it would have been his brother, the same age. Then when he was showing me the house, it was like my way to interpret the house, but he was showing me the 2 years. So it's all about me interpreting that information coming through. And that's where the medium's job steps in line and actually does that.
Okay, because my grandfather himself was actually in the army. He doesn't have a brother, but he was actually in the army. So
okay, but he's still acknowledging a person beside him.
Okay, so it's just a matter of who that person is. And
yeah, but it would be like a male, like a brother, and I'm very adamant when I get my information. It's like, no, I know this person is there.
Okay,
but that's what he could be acknowledging your grandfather in the army. But yeah, as I said, it's up to me to interpret the information to bring it through.
Rose O Driscoll is joining me in studio. She's a psychic medium. As you can tell from her accent, she's from Ireland. If you want to get more information on her, you can go to roseodriscoll.com. When we come back, we're going to ask some questions that came in from some of our listeners, and we're going to continue to explore whether or not you can convince a skeptic that you are, in fact, the real deal. And we'll also talk a little bit about the people who I think you probably agree with. There are some unscrupulous characters in this industry, and we should talk about them as well. You're listening to The Jason Rantz Show. We're back in 4 minutes. Welcome back to The Jason Rantz Show. Joining me in studio is Rose O Driscoll. She is a psychic medium. For more information and to perhaps get your own reading, go to roseodriscoll.com. Rose, before the break, we were talking a little bit about the fact that there are undoubtedly people who take advantage of people who do believe anyone at face value when they say they are a psychic medium. And I suppose, how comfortable are you with people who abuse people and take advantage of their belief system in this?
The people that can say that they can do
when they clearly can. I mean, we're talking about the John Edwards of them all, the Sylvia Browns, the people who overwhelmingly there seems to be evidence to suggest that they are just con artists.
What I would say is I've, especially in my travels, there has been, for me, I've witnessed the wooden hut with the psychic neon flashing light and, you know, the crystal ball and the image of, and I have heard a lot of stories where people are told, well, hey, you can have a $5 reading, but like, that's okay, but come back next week and give me $1,000 and I'll clear your negative energy. I mean, to me, that really frustrates me because it is clearly a person that is pulling them vulnerable people in to take advantage. Okay, and I am very uncomfortable. And that's why one of the reasons is why I agreed to come in here. I was like, you know what? I need to get my say out that bit more. And for me, trying to distinguish myself as a medium, a natural born, I'm not part of a group. I'm not, as people would think, trained. You can't train a medium. You know, you don't go to school or anything for this. I just have to say I can't put my name in a newspaper. It's not going to give it justice. So that's why I told you it's like about me giving messages out and just saying, look, I'm what I am, you know, take it or leave it. And that's just the way it is. But I try to, like, I separate myself from them other people that take advantage. But I mean, at the end of the day, me to get uncomfortable or not, I mean, why the way I keep going forward, it's up to me to, you know. But another side to it, it was funny. On my travels, I went to, I'm not sure if you've heard of these spiritual churches. They're like spiritual churches where they have healing services and meditation services.
Okay, yeah.
And they also have all messages circles. But it was very interesting because I said, right, I'll go in and I'll sit through it. I didn't tell anybody at the beginning that I was a medium. And I left to play out and sing. And one of the churches, I actually left 5 minutes into the service because I was so disappointed and upset of the fact that people actually listened to most of it.
You knew it was a scam.
I knew it was a scam. And then another church, I went in and there was a woman saying, you know, she was trying to describe a father figure of somebody and she described the person and then she said, oh no, wait, we're not told to do this way. I'm trained differently. I mean, you know, you can't say, oh, hang on, he actually had black hair. I was told to say, you know, it's bull. Yeah. And then another side to it, I went into another church and I left the service go on and I put up my hand at the end of the service because I had a guy's grandfather give me a message that was sitting 2 rows behind me. So I put up my hand and I asked, could I give a message? And I was told no. Straight away, no, like wasn't welcome. I think was it the way that it was a threat from an outside? I'm not too sure. So I said, okay. And I just expressed my opinion that I thought it was very unfair that they wouldn't, you know, if it was a belief system of all messages going around to people who deserve it, I mean, by all means, a person should be allowed to say, right, just for 5 minutes, we'll see what you have to say. So I left, but, you know, I got my message out to that person outside the church. So
Are you only able to connect to spirits when you're around the person that they're connected to? So in other words, can you dial up the spirit of someone who isn't connected to me?
Okay, so if you're asking me, can I do readings over phone, email, Skype? Is that what you're asking me?
Well, even let's say I want the spirit of Ronald Reagan or John F. Kennedy. Like, are you able to simply connect to them, even though I don't personally have any direct connection to them?
Not necessarily, but then in saying that, I mean, when I do readings, I might connect to a person that has touched energy with another person. So it could be like if I was doing a reading one night and there was a person I was giving initials and, you know, what happened and cause of death and she wasn't relating to it. But then towards the end of the reading, she actually said, oh, wait, I think you're on about my best friend. And it was another person that had passed like 2 years before, but it wasn't actually connected to her, if that makes sense. But it was just the energy that she had with her friend that was trying to get through for her to get that message.
Now, when you say energy, is this just a feeling, or is this something you can legitimately see? I've heard aura before, and I know it has different colors, but I guess I'm not entirely sure what that means.
Okay, well, energy is all around us. Okay, energy. And the best way to describe it is it's like the internet.
Okay.
You know, it's like it's everywhere, but where is it at the same time? You know, it's like you just have to say, right, energy is there and we work with energy, but everything has energy. And in the case of if a person has been in a place or for, you know, in that area, it all either has positive energy or negative energy. And that's just the way it is.
So you're able to see the energy that's coming towards me or out of me in a way.
I wouldn't necessarily see auras all the time, but in the sense of that I can see the spirits sometimes, and that's clairaudible. It's like, and hear things and see the symbols. But for auras and things like that, not necessarily all the time. I wouldn't see it.
Are you seeing my aura?
No.
Is that bad?
I'm not seeing anything.
Is that awful? Is that
No,
bad? Does that
no,
mean like I'm a soulless individual, Rose?
No, I wouldn't say that, because if I had to say, I see all these colours around everybody, I mean, I'm going to have an interesting day, right? Seeing all these things. But no, I don't agree with a person saying, oh, you've a negative, oh, you've this. No, that's crap as well. I just say, like, with the person, you know, I tune in, get the messages, and nobody has negative energy as such, the way it's portrayed out.
Okay.
You know, it's like everybody has a certain degree of energy, but it's all a matter of self-healing as well.
Is everything with me going in the right direction, or is there something I need to know about to sort of maybe chill on?
I think you need to chill out on the psychic you haven't showed. No, I think all is going well for you, but you just need to, you're very hesitant in the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
You know, and it's not, besides the outlook on life and everything, but just hesitant in your path. But I'm still stemming around a house move.
Okay. I did just move into a new apartment.
Yeah, so the house move it's like, but I don't think that you're going to settle there. I think there's another move coming.
Okay.
Okay, so
hopefully not soon, because oh my God, this is such a pain in the ass to have to move.
But I do feel that it is. That's why you're hesitant, though. It's around that area. It's just a change of stuff going on, but everything will be fine as well.
Okay.
Where's is your mother sick?
No, not.
It's just concern coming from spirit from your mother at the moment. So they're saying like that she will be fine, or there's something very temporary that's coming up with your mother. Okay. Did she cut her hair recently?
I haven't seen her in person in several months because she lives out of state. So
okay, but they're just showing me her like changing hairstyle. So I don't know if that's a difference in something like that, but there's something coming up with her that won't be as it seems. Okay, she'll be fine.
Well, this is a good reminder to call your mother, right?
Well, yes, but that could be just even it. Like Spirit just wants you to pick up the phone and give her mom a call.
Oh, she's gonna love that one, and I know she's listening. Rose O Driscoll has been joining us in studio. If you want to get your own reading with Rose, go to roseodriscoll.com. It's ODRISCOLL, roseodriscoll.com. Rose, I appreciate you making the stop at Kiro Radio in Seattle. I really do.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. You're listening to the Jason Rantz Show. Coast to Coast is up next.